The Demon King wiped out humanity and even the gods. 2,000 years later, he reincarnated and joined the Demon King Academy as a student, where descendants are selected to train. On the day of the entrance exam, a nervous girl heads toward the academy but accidentally drops her letter after being bumped. A boy notices this, picks it up, and learns her name is Misha Necron. He returns the letter while their parents enthusiastically cheer them on, wishing them luck. As they proceed, the boy introduces himself as Anos Voldigode. Suddenly, another boy appears, trying to intimidate them, but Anos dismisses him casually. The boy, introducing himself as Zeps, a noble from the Indu family, demonstrates his fire magic. Unimpressed, Anos sighs and blows out the flames, explaining they were too weak to matter. Zeps is baffled, but Anos ignores him, heading to the entrance where the announcement of the practical exam begins. Inside, Anos learns the first part of the exam involves duels where only the winners are admitted. When it's his turn, Anos faces Zeps, who now wears anti-demonic armor that nullifies magic. Zeps wields a family heirloom, a flaming sword that enhances magic. Confident, he charges at Anos, who remains unimpressed, calling the enhancement meaningless if the user is weak. To the crowd's shock, Anos extinguishes the flames with ease. To make the fight more intriguing, Anos declares he won't move or use magic. Zeps, believing this to be an excuse, attacks, but his internal organs suddenly rupture. He's stunned as Anos explains it was caused by the sound of his own heartbeat. Despite being in agony, Zeps refuses to surrender. Anos steps on him and, after another refusal, snaps his fingers, obliterating him. Realizing he went too far, Anos resurrects Zeps and again asks him to give up. Zeps insults him, prompting Anos to kill and revive him repeatedly until, in sheer desperation, Zeps finally surrenders. With the duel over, a man scolds Anos for challenging the nobility. In the second phase of the exam, candidate's magical power is evaluated. Misha scores impressively, while Anos' power causes the crystal to shatter, earning him a score of 0. Misha realizes his overwhelming magic was the reason. Next is the aptitude test with questions about the Demon King, which Anos finds trivial. After the day's events, Misha waits for Anos outside. He invites her to celebrate at his home, and she accepts. Holding her hand, he teleports them, surprising her since teleportation magic had been lost in the mythical era. At home, his mother celebrates his success, amazed that her 1-month-old son passed the exams. When Anos introduces Misha, his mother is delighted, assuming she's his girlfriend, while his father beams with pride. During dinner, his mother asks Misha what she likes about Anos, and she responds that he's kind, recounting how he returned her letter. This makes his mother even happier as she rushes to prepare more food. Later, Anos walks Misha home and asks about her family. She reveals that the man at the academy is merely her guardian, and she hasn't seen her parents since birth. Anos decides to call her his friend, which makes her smile. However, magic suddenly engulfs the area, forming an arena. A man named Lior Granz appears from the shadows, seeking revenge for his brother Zeps. Grabbing Zeps by the neck, Lior calls him a weakling and kills him with electricity. Lior, asserting his family's noble lineage as descendants of the Demon King, declares they won't tolerate disrespect from hybrids. Anos counters, saying strength, not bloodline, defines worth. Enraged, Lior and his men attack, but Anos easily disrupts their magic, causing their spells to backfire. Lior attempts a forbidden royal spell, unleashing immense power, but Anos remains unaffected. Recognizing the spell as origin magic that borrows the Demon King's power, Anos calmly explains why it doesn't work. He is the very source of that power. He notices that Lior lacks experience and decides to give him a chance by resurrecting Zeppes, though Zeppes returns as a zombie. Zeppes asks Lorg why he killed him and attempts to stop him, but his attacks have no effect. Anos explains that zombies grow stronger from the hatred of those who killed them, so he tells Lorg that he must acknowledge his brother and remember their shared moments to stop the hatred. However, Lorg refuses, and Zeppes is about to strike him. Panicked, Lorg calls out his brother's name, and as he recalls their past together, the field erupts, killing both of them. Anos expresses disappointment at how weak the bonds of this era have become, and uses his magic to protect Misha, erasing the area from existence. The descendants of this age ask him who he is, and Anos reveals that he is the true Demon King of tyranny. In the mythical era, Anos faces the hero, who argues that killing him won't end the war, as humans will simply find another enemy, even if the demons are defeated. The hero wants to believe in humanity, so Anos offers to create a barrier between the dimensions, willing to sacrifice his own magical energy for it. The hero, curious, asks why he seeks peace, to which Anos responds that demons are not the problem, and he's weary of the ongoing tragedies. The hero decides to trust him, and as they perform the ritual, the hero strikes Anos' core, stabbing his heart and hoping they can become friends in the next life. A powerful beam of light erupts, and the barrier between the realms is created. 2,000 years later, Anos awakens, greeted by his new parents, who are surprised he can speak on the very first day. At school, Misha reveals that Anos was the only one who failed the knowledge exam, which puzzles him. He asks her about the Demon King, but she is forbidden from discussing it. He reads her thoughts and learns that the Demon King's name was changed to Aos Delavia, wondering how that happened. She explains that a student's aptitude is measured based on how similar their mindset and emotions are to the Demon King. Just as she's about to tell him who has the greatest aptitude, they're interrupted by a girl walking past. The teacher, Amelia, introduces the spell they will use for their next task, which involves a team duel. She asks the students to volunteer as team captains, but when Anos offers, she explains that he's ineligible since he's a hybrid and not of royal blood. Anos promises to prove his superiority, and though she threatens to expel him if he fails, he approaches the spell circle, stating that it's flawed. By slightly altering the magical flow, he doubles the effectiveness of the circle, leaving everyone shocked. Amelia allows him to declare his candidacy, and he sits down as the group leaders introduce themselves. The girl from A4, Sasha Necron, stands up, and Misha reveals she's her sister. Anos wonders why Sasha is considered pure blood, while Misha is a hybrid, and Misha explains it was a family decision. Amelia asks Anos to introduce himself, and he declares that the Demon King they believe in is a fake. The students are divided into 4 teams, with everyone wanting to join Sasha's team. She approaches Anos, confident that he has no chance with just one teammate, and insults Misha by calling her a soulless doll. Anos thinks her ignorance is the problem, as she assumes dolls don't have souls. He tells her she lacks knowledge, and though she thinks he's rude, she decides to use her Eye of Destruction to punish him. The others are terrified, but her power has no effect on Anos, who reveals that he possesses his own Eye of Destruction. He warns her not to underestimate him, admitting that she's skilled in magic. He invites her to join Misha on his team, but Sasha coldly says she never considered Misha her sister. After class, Sasha speaks to Anos, proposing conditions for their team duel. If she loses, she'll join his team, but if she wins, he must become her slave. Anos agrees, confident he won't lose, while Sasha walks away, seemingly still struggling to control her eyes. A week later, their teams face off in the forest, and they set up a pact for their bet. The match begins, and the objective is to defeat the enemy leader. Sasha's team builds a fort, and Misha asks Anos about his plan. He assures her they'll surprise them. Misha quickly constructs 3 castles with her spell, but Sasha suspects it's an illusion to buy time. She plans to make the first move, only to spot Anos approaching the castle. She's prepared to punish him, but he tells her it won't work, leaving them both confused about how he can hear them. He explains that their encryption spell is easy to break. Despite this, she tries to remain optimistic, thinking that no single person could bypass their defenses. But then, he grabs the castle, lifts it into the air, and throws it skyward, telling them to land carefully. He starts playing with them, tossing them away as the castle is destroyed and everyone is hurt. Still, Sasha refuses to give up. She proposes using the Geog Greys, the strongest fire magic, and they unite their powers to summon the Geog Greys cannon, firing it with all their might. Anos acknowledges her effort, but he counters with a small flame that pierces through their spell, causing it to vanish. The flame heads toward them, and despite their efforts to stop it with barriers, it breaks through and strikes the castle, knocking everyone back. Sasha manages to get up, and Anos appears before her. She wonders how he could cast Geog Greys alone, but he reveals that he only used a weaker spell, Grega, the simplest fire magic. He won because he's far stronger than they are. He reminds her of their agreement, and though she promises revenge, she knows she can't break their pact. Reluctantly, she joins his team, thinking he only did it for Misha, but he mentions there's another reason her eyes are beautiful, radiating one of the most elegant forms of magic he's ever seen. Thanks for watching. Check out this next video, and remember to subscribe AniZapp.